The Epstein Files are back in focus, and at the center of a new political twist is a familiar name. Jeffrey Epstein's former lawyer Alan Dershowitz has announced he is switching to the Republican Party after 67 years as a Democrat. The timing of the decision is raising eyebrows across America, as this isn't just a story about politics, it's about power, proximity, and a network that refuses to fade from public scrutiny. Writing in the Wall Street Journal, Dershowitz framed his decision around Israel policy, but the timing is raising questions. His announcement comes as renewed public attention builds around records, associations, and unanswered questions tied to Jeffrey Epstein, a case that years after Epstein's death still casts a long shadow. Epstein's case was never just about one man. It involved wealth, influence, and connections that stretched across business, politics, and elite social circles. Even after his death in 2019, scrutiny has continued over who was connected, what information exists, and whether all of it has ever been fully examined. As Epstein's former lawyer, Alan Dershowitz has remained a central and controversial figure in the broader narrative. He has denied allegations made against him, challenged accusers publicly, and defended legal positions tied to the case. Dershowitz has also spoken in support of appeals involving Epstein's aide Epstein-Maxwell, who was convicted in 2022. His continued presence in public discourse keeps him closely tied to the unresolved questions surrounding the Epstein network. The Epstein story has repeatedly intersected with powerful figures. U.S. President Donald Trump himself has faced scrutiny over past social overlap with Epstein, though no wrongdoing has been proven in that context. Meanwhile, Melania Trump recently stated she had no personal relationship with Epstein or Maxwell. Still, the broader issue persists. How close were powerful figures to Epstein's world, and what did they know? In recent months, public discourse has increasingly focused on whether more Epstein-related material exists, how such records have been handled, and whether full transparency has been achieved. Trump administration has faced questions about access, disclosure, and accountability. So far, many of those questions remain unanswered. Against this backdrop, Dershowitz's decision to switch parties carries added weight. He cites Israel policy, but critics and observers are viewing the move through a wider lens. Whether connected or coincidental, the overlap is fueling debate. A party switch, a resurfacing scandal, and a network that continues to raise questions. For Alan Dershowitz, the past isn't just history, it's part of the present narrative. And for the Epstein case, the story still isn't over.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI in interviews surrounding the Epstein matter.